Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh. Today is Sunday, May 31st. I can't believe we're almost already in June. This month has just absolutely flown by. So in today's video, we are going to be doing another stimulus update for those on different Social Security benefits, such as SSI and SSDI, as well as an update for veterans and railroad retirees. Now, before I get into the video today, per usual, if you wouldn't mind giving this video a like, a big thumbs up, it really just helps with the YouTube algorithm in terms of getting this video out to other people like you. In addition to that, leave a comment in the comment section below, letting me and others know whether or not you've received your first stimulus payment or not. It really just creates a good conversation and lets other people know that, hey, I'm not the only one who hasn't received my stimulus payment yet. All right, so per usual, I'm gonna start this video out by answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video, and then I'm going to proceed along by giving some updated payment dates. All right, so I'm gonna start this video out with some good news. So it seems that we have a new trending payment date of June 3rd. Many people have been commenting in my comment section saying that they've been checking to get my payment portal and they're now receiving a June 3rd direct deposit date. So I'm going to start out this video by listing a comment from Amanda. Amanda says SSDI and finally got a date today of June 3rd. So that's excellent news for Amanda. Peter says I checked the get my payment portal at irs.gov and it says I get my $1,200 on June 3rd. Thank God it finally arrived. I did call the IRS at 1-800-919-9835. I waited 1 hour, but it was worth it. So it seems that in Peter's case, he did reach out to the IRS via phone and they were able to give him a payment date of June 3rd. So that's excellent news. This is a number that you don't have to call, but of course it wouldn't hurt. I will say that you could wait on hold for a couple of hours. So if you don't have much patience, then it probably would not be something that you would want to do. Moving along, we have another comment from Steel Seeker. Steel Seeker says, I just checked the portal last night. It says I will be getting it on the 3rd of June. I'm on SSDI with no payee. I'm so glad. And then finally, we have Christian. Christian says, finally got a date for June the 3rd for Cash App. Question, did anyone use the Cash App for their stimulus check? So of course, that's more good news there. We have several people just like all these who are receiving payment dates of June the 3rd. So if you haven't yet checked the payment portal in the last couple of days, I would strongly encourage you to do so. You may also have a payment date of June the 3rd as well. I also saw comments a week or two ago where they were receiving payment dates of June 8th. So it could be one of the two, either June the 3rd or June the 8th. And finally, to answer Christian's question, I did see some people who were receiving their stimulus payment on the Cash App. So you should have no problem receiving your stimulus payment on the Cash App. All right, moving right along to a question from Just. Just says, hey, do you know the protocol for SSDI with a representative payee when the IRS puts your money into a closed account? Portal says May 28th, no deposit. I had to get a new card this year. All right, thank you so much for that question. So if the IRS does attempt to directly deposit the stimulus payment into a closed bank account, what's going to happen is the bank is going to reject the stimulus payment because it's a closed account. They're going to send the payment back to the IRS. Then at that point in time, the IRS is going to reprocess your payment and instead send you a paper check in the mail instead. So be checking the payment portal. It should update to be telling you that it's going to be sending you a paper check in the mail instead, and be checking your mailbox over the next couple of weeks. All right, so the next question today is from James. James says, Josh, just checked the Get My Payment portal and just as usual, it keeps rejecting my social security number, my date of birth, and address. What gives? I'm starting to think someone stole my identity. My name is so common, I've had this happen before. Possible? Maybe. SSDI, all information current, but still nothing. Seems like all of us SSDI people aren't priorities. After laying it all down on the line, is this the way it's going to be? Sad. I won't forget this. Okay, thank you so much for the question, James, and I definitely understand your frustration. Now, I must say that I've seen several other people with that same issue where, for whatever reason, the IRS is not recognizing your information and they're telling people that their social security number or their address is incorrect and they're not able to find anyone in the system with that information. So what I'm thinking might be the issue here is that the IRS has some sort of glitch in their Get My Payment portal, which wouldn't be their first glitch. So I'm hoping it is something that they can fix soon. Now, I would recommend you or anyone else who thinks that your identity may have been stolen to get a free credit report done online. That way you can see if any lines of credit have been opened on your behalf. It may also be worth it to reach out to TransUnion or Experian and talk to them about this issue, just because they're credit specialists and they might be able to resolve this issue a little bit better than I would be able to. Additionally, if you did move recently, it's possible they may have an old address on file. So that's another thing. You could try typing in one of your previous addresses to see if they may have an old address on file. And there's another issue. I received another comment from Lorraine. Now, Lorraine said, still no money. IRS keyed in my address incorrectly. I finally got through to a real person and asked them to check my address, and they had it wrong. I would have been waiting if I did not call them. They said it would take 2 weeks for it to get into their system. I do not understand that because he told me he corrected it right then online, so I will try again on the week of June 8th. So it does seem that there's some sort of problem where for whatever reason the IRS is having incorrect addresses on file for certain people. Now, I don't know if the addresses they have on file are maybe just old addresses for people, or maybe they're addresses for family members and that's why they have it on file instead of the correct one. It's really just quite baffling, so it may be worth it trying to reach out to the IRS via phone to see which address they may have on file for you. Okay, moving right along to the next question is from Thomas. Thomas says, Josh, I heard that some debt collectors have taken their stimulus payment. Can they do that? Okay, thank you so much for that question, Thomas. And unfortunately, some debt collectors can actually seize your stimulus payment from your bank account. So some ways you could potentially avoid that from happening is requesting a paper check to be sent to you in the mail instead. That way you can cash it immediately and just use the cash and you don't have to risk having your stimulus payment seized from your bank account. All right, so the next question today is from Rachel. Rachel says, are Social Security people getting the stimulus check? All right, thank you so much for that question, Rachel. And yes, people on Social Security are eligible for the stimulus payment and they will receive the stimulus payment as long as they're not being claimed as a dependent and as long as they don't have any type of child support that could potentially offset their stimulus payment. Okay, so the next question today is from Cynthia. Cynthia says, I'm on Ssdi and filed under non-filers for my son who is 15 and has direct deposit. I still haven't gotten his $500. All right, thank you so much for that question, Cynthia. And you definitely did the correct thing by using the non-filers form to claim your dependent. And since your son is under the age of 17, then you're definitely eligible to receive the extra $500 for this particular dependent. Now, unfortunately, the IRS did have an issue where they, for whatever reason, just were not adding the $500 per dependent on thousands of people's stimulus payments. So unfortunately, at this point in time, all the IRS is saying is that we have to wait until next year whenever we file our taxes to claim that extra credit, which is really unfortunate because they're telling thousands of people that, hey, you have to wait almost an entire year to receive the additional $500 that you should have received right here and now. And this is when we need our money, right here and now. This is why they're sending out the stimulus payments. So it seems that we may have to wait until we file our taxes next year. I hope they maybe change their stance on that. But for right now, unfortunately, that is what they're saying. All right, so the next question today is from Glenn. Glenn says, I haven't received anything yet. I'm on Ssdi and VA compensation, and I'm in the Philippines, but my payments come through a US bank, then forwarded to a Philippine bank. Am I eligible for this stimulus? Okay, thank you so much for that question, Glenn. And you're definitely eligible for the stimulus payment as long as you're not being claimed as a dependent on anyone else's tax returns, and as long as you don't have any type of child support that could potentially offset the stimulus payment. I would recommend for you just to continue checking the Get My Payment portal on a daily basis, and eventually you should definitely receive a date. All right, so the next question today is from Sheila. Sheila says, my daughter carried me on her taxes, but I live alone and pay my own bills. Will I get a check? All right, thank you so much for that question. And unfortunately, since you are claimed as a dependent by your daughter, even though you pay your own bills, you would not be eligible for a stimulus payment just because you're claimed as a dependent. Okay, so the next question today is from Tracy. Tracy says, hello, Josh. If you haven't filed taxes in 3 years because you've been unemployed due to illness, and I'm waiting for SSI case to be settled, am I eligible for this stimulus check? All right, thank you so much for that question, Tracy. So as long as you're not being claimed as a dependent, you would be eligible for the stimulus payment. Now, since you haven't filed taxes in the last 3 years, and since you're not set up yet with SSI, then you would need to use the non-filers form in order to receive your stimulus payment. Okay, so the final question for today's video is from Carolyn. Carolyn says, Josh, please read my email. I haven't gotten my stimulus payment yet, and they said they mailed it on the 15th. Where is it? All right, thank you so much for that question, and I'm so glad that you finally received a date. Now, it does say that they sent it on the 15th in the mail, and these can take 2 to 3 weeks to be delivered. So I'm guessing that it's probably just not delivered yet, so keep an eye on your mailbox, and I would expect for you to receive it within the next week or so. All right, so that wraps up all the comments and questions in today's video. Now I'm just gonna proceed along with some updated payment dates, and not a lot has really changed. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, June the 3rd seems to be kind of the new trending payout date. So if you're on Social Security survivors, retirement, disability, SSI, RRB, a veteran, a representative payee, and you still haven't received your stimulus payout yet, be checking the payment portal. You should see an updated date of June the 3rd. If not, it could possibly be June the 8th as well. These will not be the last payout dates. I'm sure they're going to continue having payment dates set out for June 15th, June 11th. We just never know. You just have to keep checking the payment portal and you will definitely eventually receive the date. Remember, as long as you're not being claimed as a dependent on anyone else's tax returns, and as long as you don't owe something like child support that could potentially offset the stimulus payment, you're definitely eligible and you're definitely going to receive it. It's just kind of a waiting game. And I know we've been playing this waiting game for such a long period of time and our patience is running incredibly thin, but we're so close to receiving the stimulus payments. We've seen so many people get them over the past couple of weeks and we're next to line. It's just a matter of waiting another couple of weeks and then we'll finally all receive ours. And on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. If you did enjoy the content in this one and you would like to see more videos like it, please subscribe to my channel. I am posting daily stimulus payment updates. And until next time, I'll see you guys and I hope you have a great day today.